Hello aspirants, welcome to La Excellence. Welcome to the session on Current Affairs for Beginners. In this session, I am going to tell you about the terms, concepts, schemes and institutions that appeared in today's Hindu newspaper, that is 21st July 2018. Let me give you answers for yesterday's questions. The first question is, when two full moons appear in the same calendar month, the second is termed as blue moon. This is the correct statement. And the second option is, supermoon occurs when the full moon is at the closest point of its orbit to the earth, which is also called as perigee. For supermoon to occur, we have two conditions. The first one is it should be full moon, and the second condition is it should be closest to the earth's orbit. Both the statements are given in this second statement, so this statement is also correct, and the answer is B, 1 and 2. And the second question is about Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. The first statement is, it is a crop insurance scheme with one nation, one scheme as its theme. And the second option is, crops covered under it are food crops and oilseeds. Both the statements are correct. So the answer is A, both. First article is GST Council Memo taxing natural gas. Here, the beginners need to have the basic understanding about the term GST. It is a comprehensive indirect tax. Firstly, you should know the difference between what is a direct tax and what is an indirect tax. Direct tax is levied directly on the person. For example, income tax. If any person is getting income more than a certain limit, then government will tax him. That we call direct tax, taxing directly. But if you buy any product or if you enjoy any services, then also government will tax you. That taxes which is indirectly levied on a person, we call as indirect tax. And GST is such tax, that is, it's a comprehensive indirect tax. On whom this GST is levied? It is levied on manufacture, sale and consumption of goods and services. If a manufacturer manufactures the goods, or after manufacturing, if someone buys at a wholesale and he sells the goods, or if a person who wants to consume at final stage, on these three stages they'll be having GST. But this GST eliminates the cascading effect. That is, the GST is levied at manufacturer level, sales level and consumer level. But whenever a salesperson buy the goods, the GST manufacturer at the first level, he will get his tax back, and we call that as input tax credit. And whenever consumer buys the goods and the salesperson who sell that, he will get the tax back, and we will call that also as input tax credit. That means through input tax credit, that is, three people will pay the tax, but through input tax credit, the manufacturer and the salesperson will get their tax back in the form of input tax credit. Only consumer will pay the tax. And thus GST became the comprehensive indirect tax, but avoids and eliminates all the cascading effects. And this GST also replaced many other taxes. That is, there are so many indirect taxes before this GST. Now we have only one indirect tax, that is GST. That is, before at central level we have excise taxes, service taxes, and at state level we have state value added taxes, sales taxes, entry taxes, entertainment taxes, purchase taxes, like this different and many number of taxes are present. Now all these taxes are subsumed into this GST. In this GST you have slabs, that is, certain items are taxed at one rate and certain other items are taxed at other rates. For suppose there are some items like natural gas. Up to now there is like that, you have four different slabs, that is 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. Now you got basic understanding about the GST. It's a comprehensive indirect tax and it is having four slabs. If you consider 0 as particular slab, then it is having 5 slabs. 0, 5, 12, 18 and 28. Now this is the basic concept. But to answer and to link with your prelims, you need to build on the points. And that you can get by reading the article. Now, in this article, they were discussing about different items which are taxed at what rates. First thing, they were speaking about natural gas. Up to now, for natural gas, there is no tax, and they were discussing to include that natural gas in the GST. And there are different things like cement, paints, marble, handicrafts, handloom, jute products are discussed in this article. You have to read this article now to know which item is taxed at what rate, because see, this is the UPSC 2018 prelims question, and here you have some items given, and the question asked is which of the above items are exempted under GST. You can answer this question correctly only when you follow all the articles that come under GST and note down these things. In mains, you have this topic in GS paper 3, Indian economy and development, and you can get the questions like what are the implications of GST in the Indian economy, elucidate. Try to have a perspective on this type of topic, that is what are the effects of GST, whether they are positive effects, whether they are negative effects, and if there are any negative effects, what are the solutions for it. Try to have a perspective on that. Second article is rent a lab policy to bring revenues to institutions. In this, we have to see what is this rent a lab policy. This policy is nothing but to give scientific instruments which are there in government labs to researchers. They were taking this move because these instruments are remaining ideal in the government laboratories. If they can give this to researchers, then it will be helpful for them. And also to the government, it is a type of generating income. But through prelims perspective, we have to see here 3 points. The first thing is they were giving the items which are more than 10 lakh. Remember this factual information. The instruments which are costs of more than 10 lakh only, they were giving for this researchers. And the second thing is the scientific research infrastructure management and networks would not apply to strategic sectors. This can be a point in your prelims. This can be applied to strategic sectors even. Presently, this is not applying to the strategic sectors. And the third point is institutions declare on a website how often their instruments would be available for use by those outside the department. This means institutions has the power to declare how they can give and what conditions. Like example, if the institution want to give an instrument to the researcher, then that institution will decide to how much it should be given and to what time it should be given, and it will also ask what purpose. Based on the purpose, it may decide the rate and it may decide the time. It is the discretion of the institutions to decide the terms and conditions. Try to remember these 3 points from this article. In the next article is BJP quick to move privilege motion. In the last video, we have seen what is this no confidence motion. Now let us see what is this privilege motion. This is a notice by any member of either House of Parliament or state legislature. That is, it might be from a member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha or state legislatures, that is legislative assembly, or if any state is having legislative council, any member from all these 4 houses can give notice against anyone that who are accused of the breach of privilege. That is, parliamentary privileges we have, that is, certain rights and immunities can be enjoyed by any MP and MLA or MLC, individually or collectively. If any MLA or MP or MLC feels that his rights and immunities are degraded, then this offence is called breach of privilege, and this is a punishable offence under law of parliament or law of state legislature. Remember, this might be a prelims question, that is, breach of privilege is a punishable offence under constitution. This is wrong because this is under law of parliament and it is not under constitution. The next article is Nirmala Mount's spirited defence. In this article is mainly about yesterday there was a discussion of no confidence motion in the parliament, and at that time Rahul Gandhi has allegated that Rafale deal was absolutely wrong. our intention is just to know about this Rafale fighter jet. Some facts about it. This is a twin-engine medium multi-role combat aircraft, and this has a omni-role. That is, it has a capability of performing several actions at the same time, and it can carry out both air to ground as well as air to air attacks. That is, from air, this jet can attack the things at ground level, and also this can attack from air to air. And the speed of this aircraft is 1.8 Mach, and Indian government is about to buy 126 Rafale combat aircrafts from the French government, and the issue is regarding that. The next article is Rajya Sabha adjourned over lack of quorum. Here we have to discuss what is this quorum. This is the minimum attendance of the members required for proceeding in any house. That is, if the proceedings have to be started in either Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha, there should be certain amount of members. If that percent of members are not present, then there will be no proceedings in the house and the house will be adjourned. And the prescribed minimum amount is 1/10 of the total strength of the house. That is, for Lok Sabha there should be 55 members or above, and for Rajya Sabha there should be 25 members or above for the parliamentary proceedings to move on. And the next article is onus on the SBI. Here this article is about the corruption charges on former Union Minister Chidambaram and his son Karti Chidambaram on the ground that Foreign Investment Promotion Board approval. That is, when these people are in this board, granted permission for a Mauritius-based subsidiary to invest in Aircel. Here our attention is to see one point that is important for prelims, that is, any investment above 600 crore need the clearance of Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. There is a board called Foreign Investment Promotion Board. If any investment, it will approve. But any investment that is more than 600 crore, then it needs the clearance of Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs for approval. And it cannot approve, this board cannot approve it directly. Since this is in news from 1 to 2 years, you should know this point. This may come in your prelims. Try to answer today's questions. The first question is, consider the following items: natural gas, paints, cement and marble, handicrafts, jute products. Which of the above items are exempted under GST? The second question is, consider the following statements: the presence of at least 10% of total strength of any house in parliament makes quorum. The second statement is, the minimum attendance of the members required for a proceeding of any house is known as quorum. Thank you.